I just landed here in Germany back from my China trip, and what landed as well is the HarmonyOS Next 5.0 beta for my Mate 60 Pro, as you see here. And I want to show you in this video a first overview of this beta version and what you can expect of HarmonyOS Next. So let's get started. So first we start with the version that I have here, and you can see I got just another update of the new beta version. So I have version 5.0 and 102, as you see there. And yeah, this is the version that I have, and there's a brand new version available here that fixes Huawei Share a bit, calls and some apps as well, system stability and improvements, and file save and viewing experiences of files have been improved as well. Otherwise, yeah, I have this version here that can tell you about the experience here and the bugs and stuff that I encountered. First of all, what you will notice is that depending on when you do a backup and what you back up, all your settings, most of them are kept there, but your icons and apps are rearranged, of course, for this new beta, because it's a whole new system. And I think I also recorded a short startup where you can see it's now powered by OpenHarmony, that is written in the lower part there. And it's putting up quite quickly, and it's doing all the stuff and transitionings, and we see all the new apps there and some other apps. I installed the QQ browser, for example, but the rest I think should be default. And it puts some apps that are supported, like the Tinico app that I have. Tinico is like a wet mopping, electric mopping device, and apparently they have like an app available already for HarmonyOS, which is quite nice. I wasn't even aware of this. I'm not sure. I didn't even try it out if it works, because I wasn't home there yet. Still at my parents right now, because it's like a shorter way from Frankfurt to Cologne than to Wesel. Anyway, I have some apps here: Yoko, Vmall app, the Didi app, Tips apps, and the Bilibili. I think those I had installed as well before. This is why they are there, and the Compass app is there. Some widgets there. And all the incompatible apps it lists here in a separate folder. You can see not yet compatible, and you can go through this list. There are a few of them, like X, Sparkasse, which is like my banking app, Google, Aurora Store, Mastodon, Telegram, Reddit, WeChat. WeChat is listed here as well because I'm using the international. I had the international version installed there. Netflix and YouTube, of course. Discord, Notes app is also not compatible, which is a Huawei app, which is a bit surprising that they don't have it. If you click on one of those, it's checking if this app is available yet. And you can see here it's not available yet. And you can search for another app on the app gallery. If you click on this, it will search for Notes in this case, but you can see it's not finding it yet. Astral VPN that I used in China, of course. Materialistic, which is like the Hacker News, and Trendsocks, which is like the VPN for China. So not yet compatible. This is how it looks like, but you can see already the animations and so on. The whole operating system reminds me of HarmonyOS 4, but all the animations are redone and very, very fluid and cool and very fast, and it feels like a new operating system, even though it looks a lot like HarmonyOS 4.2 still in certain areas. One of the most spectacular new features of HarmonyOS is the AI assistant. So you can press and hold this bar that you see there, and this will open up the HarmonyOS assistant. Hey, can you speak English? And as you can see, you can also speak English a little bit there.
Yes, I can speak English fluently. How may I assist you today?
Can you tell me the weather tomorrow here in Cologne, Germany? You can see it is telling me it in English, but it's answering me in Chinese then, what the temperature should be. And yeah, so it's like a work in progress, but at least I can speak a little bit of English there as well, which is quite a nice feature. Another cool new feature is something that iOS already has, system-wide drag and drop. So I can just drag and drop this image, for example. I could drag it to the file dock there, or whatever it's called. Also Celia, if I drag it to Celia, it will give me some information about this file there. which is quite nice. Will be uploaded to the cloud because Sila is working in the cloud, and then I have some options there to ask what flower is it, for example. What flower is this? Maybe it can answer it. We will see. And you can see this flower is a vibrant purple color, blah blah blah, and so on. So it could be
This flower has a vibrant purple color and a noticeable dark purple center, based on the shape and color of the petals. It could be an long yuar miao.
Long normal. So yeah, it's working somehow with this, as you see here. So yeah, the AI assistant is based in and built in, needs a bit of refinement still for English speaking people or for different kind of languages, but in general it is already there. And I like the drag and drop capabilities throughout different applications, so I can drag this image also out to the file manager, for example, an external drive there, which is quite nice. Same thing, functionality that we saw already on iOS. It's impossible to do actually on Android without completely redesigning the whole user interface and how Android works. So very nice that we have this here on HarmonyOS Next. All the little animations are very, very nicely done, like the music player here in the control center, very nicely done. I can go and switch also to the other Bluetooth devices, for example. I can go out of here and go back here. I can tap on this and going to Huawei Music, which is quite nice. You can see how fluid this works here, even on this like a bit of not so powerful chip that we have here on the Mate 60 Pro. Everything now runs nice and fluid, is nicely integrated. One thing that I missed is like the swipe above feature to access some widgets like we had on HarmonyOS 4.2. Apparently this is still missing here, or maybe they will get rid of it for HarmonyOS 5.0. We have to see. I also like the new integration into the lock screen. So if I just double tap here, you can see you have also the music player where I played my music, and I can turn this on. I can even press on it and it's like opening up for face detection, going directly in here. The new lock screen is quite cool because you can see how it's animated here, and I can, I think, press and hold. Or what was it? Maybe I just go into the settings and show you the new customization options that we have here, home screen and style. And there we have the lock screen. There you can have more themes that you can use, and you can choose another theme there. And all of them are very nice, like those little smileys there, for example. Yes, so home screen and style options. You have the AOD always on display that you can set up the way you like it. You have all the classic ones, but it's still a little bit limited here. I think they're still doing some work on this. Want to get this going here. I think they're using a new font. I'm not so sure, at least, or the font rendering looks nicer at least. And we have some icons here. You can see almost the same, like more 3D pop kind of icons, or the 2D pop icons that we had before. And some other options there. Home screen settings, swipe down to search is still there. There's no swipe down to show notifications or the control center, so it's still swipe down to search. Otherwise, it's like pretty limited here still. So hopefully they can optimize this as well. Always on display can be set up here as well, like smart or scheduled. Smart makes sense because we have the 3D face unlock there that can detect if you have your face there and then show you the lock screen. So what is new is the control center has been revamped. You can see everything is rounded up a little bit. We have new sliders here for the brightness control and for the volume, which is quite nice in this bubble kind of shapes. Do not disturb. Super devices are available now here, so they don't list or clutter the control center. So you can click on this and it will list all the super devices in here. This old kind of very graphical view is not there anymore. At least I didn't find it here. I like this a little bit more clutter-free version. And then we have all the quick toggles, and we can switch between those quick toggles, as you can see here. Huawei Share is active, and the cool thing is here, unlike the HarmonyOS 4.2, where it is like active now only for 10 minutes, on the Chinese version at least, this one here can be stayed on for recently reviewed devices only forever. Otherwise, for everyone, it's just like 10 minutes. And here you see when I press and hold, it gives me the lightning effect. Same goes for location, but long press on location does nothing. Airplane mode, mobile data, long press does give me the option here to choose SIM 1 or SIM 2, which is quite cool. This is a new thing that we didn't have with HarmonyOS 4.2 as well. And if you're interested in all the settings and differences between this and HarmonyOS 4.2, we can do a separate video about it. I just want to show you one example. which is the battery indicator. So here I have my Pura 70 Ultra running HarmonyOS 4.2 still, and you can see that there are some options a little bit more limited. For example, we see only 82% here, and the battery logo looks a bit very simply made. Here it is just not graphical at all, but it at least lists you how much hours are left there on the battery. There's a battery saver mode, there's a performance mode here, and a power saving mode, but it's missing. There's just a battery saver mode here on the Mate 60 Pro. While its reverse charging is there, show battery percentage is there, and battery health can be viewed, and you can see it's like the same UI-wise. But the rest here is a bit different. You can see here, screen on time today, it lists here hours and minutes, and here it just like says 12. Whatever this means, 12 minutes, 12 hours, I don't know. So something that they have to work on. The rest is like pretty much the same. You can see maybe a little bit more contrasty and bigger icons there. But the rest is like basically the same. But yeah, if you're interested in more side-by-side comparison about settings and features that are available on HarmonyOS 4.2 still missing here, I will do a separate video about this as well. Otherwise, in terms of effects, you saw already one effect. It is like blurring out the background very nicely. Also, when I do this here already, you can see that it stays blurred more than here, which is like a new blur effect. And everything in terms of animations is way more fluid there. And way nicer here on HarmonyOS 5.0, which is quite an achievement that they unlocked here. When it comes to super devices like here, Huawei FreeBuds 5, it is working nicely. You can see it has this nice pop-up animation showing you that they're connected now, also the percentage. And of course, you can go in here and you see on the super devices the Huawei FreeBuds 5, it has there connected. I can connect immediately. You see how fast this is working there. And can I press and hold longer? No. What else can I do? Press and hold longer here will bring me those here. I can disconnect and connect very quickly to them, which is nice. And let me go maybe into Bluetooth settings and then in more settings. Because when I go in here into info, you can see it's going into the audio accessory manager. So all the features of your Huawei FreeBuds are available here as well with the app. Gestures, updates even. So firmware update, you get the new cool animation, update animation of HarmonyOS 5 there. But you can see it's still HarmonyOS 4.2 that we have here for those. The update just like 1 month ago or so on. So probably they will update later if some new features and updates will come for the FreeBuds 5. But it's nice that we have those options here to set up noise cancellation and so on, to connect it to different devices. So everything is nicely integrated, so all your Huawei devices should work out of the box without any issue. It is a completely different operating system base, and all the Android compatibility that was built in HarmonyOS 4.2 still is not there anymore here on this device. So this means that the apps that you show that are not compatible is one thing. The other thing is like what I didn't find is an option to install applications separately without using the app gallery so far. But if you have some hints, just write them down in the comment section. Because what I wanted to do is like, for example, especially when I was in China, I thought, okay, I can test out WeChat, for example. That should be available as beta version as well for HarmonyOS 5 or HarmonyOS Next, how it's called. But when first of all, if you search for WeChat, and by the way, search is also interesting because we have now Celia keyboard here as default keyboard, and there's no third-party keyboard as far as I'm aware. So I'm used to Microsoft Swift keyboard, not available. So I have to use Celia keyboard. I have nothing against Celia keyboard. It's just like the HarmonyOS 4.2 version. Especially if you want to type German, has so many limitations if you have the German keyboard layout selected, in contrast to the US American ones, like no accent keys, for example, on long press and such things, that I just had to switch to Microsoft Swift key. But here, I think, because we only have, in terms of keyboard layouts, when I go to settings here for the Celia keyboards, I only have the Chinese one, and I cannot add anything else. You can see Chinese and US, I can only have the QWERTY keyboard, not even the QWERTZ one for Germany, or for example. But yeah, it's just like Y and Z replaced. And all the other settings there are a bit limited still here for this one, I think. Voice input is there already. But themes, for example, theming support is completely missing as far as I'm aware here, at least not in not here. We have a resize option for sure, key press options, shortcuts, quick input, emojis, and scan input is possible. And here you can see the input I can set up in theory there should be something else as well, and here as well. So yeah, we want to go to clipboard, and I have here the Chinese name of WeChat, because if I type WeChat in here, it doesn't know what it is. So the Chinese name for WeChat is this one here, and if you search for this, you will see it is not available here, but on the top it says test version now available, try now. And if I click on this one here, it will give me an information, probably, that it's not available. Oh, it is available. It is available. Before it gave me an information WeChat is not available at all, so I couldn't install it. But now it is available, so it put me onto a waiting list, and I had to wait like for 24 hours now. And now I can install WeChat here, 355 megabytes. It's version 1.0.1.34. So if you install the HarmonyOS Next beta version, HarmonyOS 5 beta version, and you want to install WeChat and it's not working, it's putting you onto a waiting list, and then after a day or two, you should be able to install it. So yeah, let me just quickly install it before they throw me out of this beta version. But you can see also that there's a test period of this version. So from the 11th, beginning of November until the end of November. So this is how long you can use the app. In theory, you will get an update for the app then, and it shouldn't be any problem. But this is like a beta version, a tryout version, so not all the functions are there. And you can see it's all in Chinese written here. The UI should be in English, hopefully. At least so should be self-explanatory. But let me maybe search for QQ, which was also not available. But there's a QQ Music and this QQ browser that I have. But I don't see the QQ Messenger available, because this is not the Messenger. Weibo is available, which is Chinese Twitter, basically equivalent. Already have it installed. But you see that applications that are in the testing phase would appear there, and sometimes they will not be able to install. They put you on a waiting list for it to work. But yeah, I'm happy that WeChat is now installing, so I have at least this very essential kind of tool, at least for China. For other countries, it's not so essential. You can see here already not Twitter, you can see already, how's it called? TikTok. Douyin, this is the Chinese version of the app. Where do I have it? I think I put it under social media. Yeah, Weibo there, and Douyin. Douyin is the Chinese version of... and you can see it's working already. There's a new volume control slider you see here. You can also slide it out. And then it gives me all the other volume controls here nicely, like for the media, for the notifications, and so on. Yeah, Douyin is the Chinese version, like I said, so you find Chinese content here most of the time. It's not linked with the normal version, so yeah, sometimes you find nice music and so on. But if you want to like, you have to register, and register is only possible currently with the Chinese phone number. So I tried to log in with my global TikTok account, not working. And yeah, for registering, you need to have like a phone number that starts with 86, so Chinese one. A famous movie here. I saw it dubbed, I think. Very nice. Anyway, if you like funny movies, and otherwise like some spectacular stuff like, oh, some car. How did the car end up there on this transport? Wow. Anyway, traffic in China, I already told you about that. It's like crazy. And yeah, if you use Chinese TikTok or Douyin, you will see all the crazy stuff there as well. Yeah. Anyway, it's running very fluid, and you see no issues there with this app. So TikTok or Douyin in this case is working. I don't know about the limitations. As I said, I don't have an account. I cannot like see what are the limitations there, like if you can monetize content and so on. Weibo, Chinese Twitter equivalent, is also working fine. Hopefully it's not something family unfriendly or too politically incorrect here on this, but shouldn't be the case. We have some rocket launch there. Something going on there. Anyway, yeah, I think the international version has also a translation option. This one doesn't have a translation option, I think. Here it's also like, because it's like a completely new app, written for the device, but runs very fluid. You see another difference here when I go out of an app, if I'm in a folder, just like iOS or Xiaomi's MIUI or HyperOS, it is like staying into the folder, going back to the folder instead of like going to the home screen like it did in previous HarmonyOS versions. So this is a big difference. Otherwise here, step counter, you see how many steps I did already here, which is not very accurate because I think I almost did 8,000 steps according to my watch, but it's not linked here to this one. But according to my watch, I did more steps where the step count is there, 7,800. Weird. I had the phone with me, so maybe something going on there. Otherwise, application-wise, we have Huawei Music here with all the possibilities that you have from the online services as well, and also reading and playing music files. Then the video one here has some Chinese content there, some nice episodes there, but yeah, if you're not in China due to copyright, you're not able to play it, which is a bit of a bad thing. And you cannot, and this is the limitation currently, this is why I would not recommend anyone to use it on or install it on the productive devices right now, this beta version. Use it outside of China actually, because it's not possible to change the region to China here, from China to something else. Then in terms of apps, it is a bit limited still. There are some things in the works. There's also like an Android compatibility layer of a third party in the works. So it should work like Gbox, where it's running like an Android in a container, something like containerized here. And what I'm surprised, however, is that it's a completely new core on the operating system. Before they were using the Linux core and of course the Linux drivers on HarmonyOS 4.2 or Android drivers, Android blobs. Here they're using their microkernel, and you can see it also, I think, in the settings. Let me just quickly go here and take a look without showing you my email numbers. There we go. So I'm hopefully not showing the email numbers here, but you can see kernel version is Hongmeng kernel 193 instead of a Linux kernel or something like this. So yes, OpenHarmonyOS 5.0 is the OpenHarmonyOS version. So yes, they're using their own kernel here, which is quite interesting. And all the drivers and so on are working, like camera, for example, is working. We also see the new camera UI here. So you can see they made the buttons a bit different. Like I said, I will be doing a side-by-side comparison, but you can see the buttons are a bit different here. More readable, I think, on HarmonyOS 5, and also the zoom slider looks like this now, instead of like this, which is like, yeah, a bit of a difference there. Yeah? Otherwise, yeah, the camera application is working fine so far. I had some crashes with the camera application where it stayed black at one point, and you will see it in some video recordings that I will do, that stabilization was not working for the front camera at all for some reason. So this is something weird. And sometimes for video, also for the back-facing video, especially in Pro mode, when I went to video and set something up with the aperture, EIS was suddenly not working. Maybe they fixed it with the new update that arrived there. Not all modes are available, but most of them are there. Even light painting is there, so you can use this, and it looks basically the same. And keep in mind, this is like completely different driver here running for the camera, and the app is also a completely different app in theory, because they're not reusing the app that they had on the HarmonyOS 4.2 version. High-res shots are available here on the Mate 60 Pro. As you see here, nothing has changed. It's also only the main camera sensor that can do the high-res shots there. Maybe there are still some other limitations that I didn't find there. I go to Pro mode, let's see. We have RAW and JPEG. I don't see JPEG large. I don't remember if it was available, but RAW is available on all sensors there, which is quite nice on the Mate 60 Pro. Otherwise, I will show you a short sample that I recorded with the front-facing video, and then also the back-facing cameras as well. A bit of video samples now, so you can enjoy a little bit of how this has improved. Also like the zoom-in experience, zoom in, zoom out on video that people say has improved with HarmonyOS a lot and is iOS-like. I have to say, yes, it is an improvement, but I saw already like on Android devices as well, like ColorOS 15 and even ColorOS 14 on the Oppo Find X7 Ultra and Vivo X100 Ultra. They have tremendous work done in terms of zoom, camera performance and such things. That is just simply perfect here. Yeah, what is also cool is I can go into this multitasking view, hold it and still use the camera. Even in this multitasking view, I could like press the volume key to record a video and it's still recording. I can switch to another app and it's still recording the video in the background there. I think if I switch directly to another app here, it should stop recording now. We will just go and see. Yes, it's stopped then recording. Otherwise, if you just stay in the multitasking view, it will. So it has some quirks. I'm not sure if it's a bug. It will be, for efficiency reasons, be fixed, or is it a feature? or just simply something that shows how powerful this microkernel core is. Amazing video, Mate 60 Pro running HarmonyOS Next or HarmonyOS 5 Beta. Don't expect it to be much of a difference to what we had before. We have still 0.8 time magnification. Just interested if the wireless mic is working the same as on the AOSP kind of version. We have ultra wide angle kind of view. It is very unstable on the viewfinder, so maybe they do this in post hopefully as well. And we have 1x as well, also very unstable on the viewfinder. Hopefully the resulting video is nice and dandy. What do you think about this one here? Sun in the background there. How's HDR doing? I think it's even mirrored the video. I'm not sure if this is true. It should be true. Maybe I mirrored back so that you don't have to witness the mirrored mode that I don't really like. So what do you think about the back-facing cameras? And no, if you ask, there's no option to switch to the back-facing cameras from the front-facing camera. So now the main camera on the Mate 60 Pro with HarmonyOS Next or HarmonyOS 5. Didn't expect too much like on the front-facing camera changed, but as you see there's no electronic image stabilization at all available from the front-facing camera, which is a bit of weak. So no matter which kind of magnification I choose, no kind of stabilization. On the back-facing cameras, however, with the main back-facing camera here with the variable aperture, we don't have this issue at all. I hope that when I switch to the ultra-wide angle, by the way, recording 4K 30, first of all, it's very smooth with zooming out, and of course ultra-wide angle should be no problems with stabilization at all, but hopefully this is at least stabilized there. So a bit of a weakness that we have, that it's not stabilization. There's no stabilization on the front-facing camera. I think they will offer this with another update. And is the wireless mic working? I don't know. Let's perform a little zoom test there on the sign there. 4x zoom, and let's go to 10x, and we can zoom in even further. Up to 20x here on the Mate 60 Pro. How's stabilization here? It's a bit of wobbly on the viewfinder. Hopefully those shakes are not coming over here. And from the 4x we can directly go to the ultra wide angle again. You can see how smooth this works, how smooth it switches between those lenses, which is quite nice, but it's nothing spectacular anymore. When they first showed those beta versions of HarmonyOS Next, then I was a bit impressed, but now Vivo and Oppo are catching up and can do something similar like that. So what do you think about the video capabilities here on the Mate 60 Pro with HarmonyOS Next, HarmonyOS 5? Of course, HarmonyOS 5 is still in beta, so I expect like stabilization working again on the front-facing camera. I expect maybe some changes here in the free camera app, maybe some optimizations there, maybe some new profiles there as well. I like the monochrome profile, for example. Even though we don't have a monochrome sensor, maybe they can add it via software somehow as well, and tweak a little bit here and there. What do you think nevertheless about this one here on the Mate 60 Pro? And just for showing you, yes, the Pro mode is there, still has the possibility to choose the variable aperture to wide open, f1.4, and this is the recording that you see right now. Harsh sunlight now hitting my face. It's very cold here, like, I don't know, 12 degrees maybe, so to the 20 degrees that I had in China, in Chongqing. Here I'm back in Cologne, by the way. It's a bit of cold, so this is why I have this jacket on and so on. But the sun is shining on my face, and it's making a warm feeling. So what do you think about the quality here? I think it's somehow a little bit of a downgrade maybe here and there, but in other terms they upgraded. So front-facing camera is still an issue there, but the rest seems to be working fine. And I will check out some photos as well and give you some impressions of photography if I noticed any big improvements here with the Mate 60 Pro running HarmonyOS 5 Beta. Wide open again with the Mate 60 Pro. This time using the internal mics because I recorded 1080p on the last video, because when you switch from video mode 4K to Pro mode video, it switches back to 1080p by default. So honest mistake. Nevertheless, if you thought the video quality was bad, this is now 4K with the Pro mode. Sun in the background, how does it handle it? Maybe looking like this. And internal mics, if you want to know how the internal mics sound there. They have the same kind of sound isolation, voice isolation as the HarmonyOS 4.2 version of the Mate 60 Pro. And for some reason, the mic quality was bad. No stabilization engaged on the last video. So you see there's still some bugs that you see with HarmonyOS 5 on the Mate 60 Pro, and you can expect this on the Pura 70 Ultra on other devices as well. So yeah, how well does this work here? f1.4 still 4K 30 frames per second, also with the audio quality now. So here's the gallery app and recording screen recording on the Harmony OS 5 beta. Just look how smooth it is when I switch from years to months to days. Can even like do this. It's super smooth, super nice. I like this new engine there. Let's go to albums. Let's go to Harmony OS 5 test, and I show the main camera sensor. This is 27 millimeters still, as you see here, with all the options there. 12 megapixels that we have there. In terms of detail level, it is brilliant. It is controlling the highlights very nicely. HDR is good. I mean, it's not a downgrade to what we had with 4.2 for sure. It has some chromatic aberrations, some lens flare effects there, but this is normal shooting against the sun. Here, the 10 times zoom is also nice, preserving the details there. It's not the best. Pura 70 Ultra has a better one with larger aperture, maybe also larger main camera sensor, but this one is nice. Selfies is a nice of an improvement here, I think, with handling the HDR. The detail levels are there as well. And we have the bokeh effect. Now we can choose the aperture, so it's not a filter anymore that's called circles or hearts or whatever. We can choose the virtual aperture here, and I chose a bit maybe too much, f1.4, but it's looking nicely at 1x here. 1x is like 27 millimeter, and then we can also do the bokeh effect now on 22 millimeters, so 0.8 times, which wasn't available on Harmony OS 4.2, but here it is available. You can see the cutout is still something, needs some work there, but at least it is looking nice. f1.4 as well, you can choose the aperture that you want, and even the ultra wide angle, which is like 21, I think, millimeters, allows us to set the bokeh. Macro shots with a 3.5 if you have enough light, fantastic, no issues at all. Ultra wide angle, very, very good as well. No chromatic or not too much chromatic aberration. Sharpness is there, even better I think than on the Pura 70 Ultra. 3.5 times colors and detail levels are there. Not a downgrade at all. It's very, very good. I don't see much of an upgrade here, but it is working nicely. Also controlling HDR and the lens flare effect a little bit there. And 10 times macro is insane how good Huawei phones are with macro capabilities. And here you can see how much of details are preserved here with the 10 times zoom in terms of macro. So in general, I'm very, very happy about it. Also about the fluidity of the gallery application that works quite nicely. Nevertheless, yeah, the camera is working fine now, but sometimes it has like this issue still. It's a beta version. And in contrast, if you had Harmony OS versions before, in contrast to the AOSP driver set of versions there, those beta versions here were far more stable than what we have here, because we're running a completely new kernel, completely new drivers and so on. So this, keep in mind that especially together with the app limitations that you will have, that this is just, especially for the European market, completely experimental, and just if you're highly interested in those kind of apps and testing out the new infrastructure, maybe developing new apps and so on. So keep that in mind when it comes to Harmony OS Next, that for the European market, it's just like a toy to play around with right now. There's some apps, like I said, mostly Chinese apps, of course, because this is the target market right now. They have like more than 50,000 apps already, I think. Most of the popular apps are there, but the functionality of those apps, like in WeChat, for example, is not there yet. I just saw some videos. It's like popular apps like Bilibili, for example, their YouTube equivalent that shows some inappropriate kind of videos as default. Let's go somewhere else. Anime content or yeah, this is also maybe not so appropriate, but it's working fine here. And they have things done like integration done nicely. Tom and Jerry is nice. Like for example, the volume is not, the slider is not the default one. They have like their own slider kind of animation here that will work. And yeah, I can like do this here full screen as well, and it's working fine. If you want to experience YouTube, for example, this will also work with the Huawei browser. But here, if I go into YouTube, for example, for some reason, it keeps loading the desktop side of YouTube, which is like a bit of a bummer. I have to request the mobile side. Then it's working fine until I go into my my playlist here and go to one of my playlists, and it's back into the desktop side. And if I go back, then it's in the desktop side mode, and I have to like switch again. So this is like something that I think they also should fix the desktop mode, go to mobile side. So this is where I would say it is annoying already to watch YouTube on, and it's still not working, as you see, on the browser. But with this browser, it's working fine, the browser, but with this browser now, not always loading the mobile side, it's getting a bit more cumbersome. It's a bit annoying to watch YouTube this way. Also, especially like here, shout out to the average dad there, for example, his Find X8 review there. If I go into the landscape mode and go and switch to, I wanted to go to switch to full screen. It's like, it's loading a different kind of a player there. You can see it's not the YouTube controls. So yes, this is working fine to skip forward, but sometimes it's cutting off some things up and down and so on. Hopefully they can fix this as well with YouTube, especially when I'm in here and go into full screen, for example, it's going into this instead of like making it small. And if I rotate now, it is cutting off content. So you have to be aware what you're doing, like rotate first and then go into full screen, and then hopefully it's not cutting off content. So such things are so annoying that I would say, yes, even for Western audiences, for this kind of thing, a bit of a problematic, at least with the Huawei browser. I installed the QQ browser. This one is working much, much nicer. I don't have YouTube on here, but m.youtube.com. By the way, the Sila keyboard here on HarmonyOS I like much, much better than on HarmonyOS 4.2. And here Arun with Mr. Who's the Boss with a new video here, for example. You can see this one is loading always the mobile side, which is cool, so it doesn't have this issue with switching to another one. And also this one I think is working fine so far with the full screen like this, but here you can see it's not. So I have to go back and forth, and yeah. It also doesn't, it's not the top-notch experience. Also, with the browsers not working the way you want it to work. Maybe they can fix it. And there's, I think, a third-party YouTube app already in the works. Maybe Google is also interested in bringing out an app for HarmonyOS. Would be cool to have, or some kind of third-party. Otherwise, we have to switch to Bilibili, and they have to internationalize the versions there. Otherwise, yeah, it's a beta version. It's an early beta version. It's a quick run through. I'm talking already, I think, 24 minutes and plus a video, maybe a bit longer there. Quick run through the HarmonyOS Next, HarmonyOS 5 beta, and I will definitely show you my emice. No, I'll definitely install now this new update here. It seems promising, and they are coming out regularly, which is nice. It's a beta version, yes, but they have to hurry up because the Mate 70 Pro is supposed to come out in November. I'm guessing end of November, and then should have like a more stable version of the operating system in regards to cameras, for example, in regards to browser, but also in regards to applications. It should have more applications. So WeChat should be final in a way with more features. For sure, like I think payment is an issue there on WeChat and HarmonyOS right now. And like I said, QQ, I didn't see the app. I think it's also available only as beta version right now. So yeah, there's some big, large apps even in China that they're struggling to bring to HarmonyOS. But it will come at one point. And but this shows it's a very hard step to create your own operating system. But if I compare this here, the state with the fluidity and what it has right now with, for example, an operating system like Sailfish OS, that is also a completely different operating system. It's not Android-based and so on. Using some AOSP drivers, yes, but it's not Android-based. This is more fluid. This is already a much better kind of application state that we have here. And stability state as well with the browser working nicely, which is almost working nicely there. Software update is there. I can install it now, and I can show you how the installation process works. So yes, it is not an installation, live installation, but it has to like turn off the device. You can see powered by OpenHarmony, and then reboot into a special mode where it will overwrite the system files or install the new version here. Updating, please don't restart. You saw that already on the previous version. So this is my quick run through HarmonyOS Next, HarmonyOS 5.0. If you have some questions regarding HarmonyOS Next, what I should try out, write it down in the comment section. Otherwise, like the video, share and subscribe. And Also, if you have some tips and tricks on HarmonyOS Next that I missed out completely, some stuff that I should try out, some apps maybe that might make it more easy for Western audience to play around with HarmonyOS Next, write it down in the comment section as well. Maybe you have also the possibility to give me a hint how to install HAP apps, so the HarmonyOS applications or app files or whatever it's called, so the equivalent to APK files on Android on HarmonyOS. Tell me about it. If you have a beta version of the Android compatibility layer that I should try out, just tell me. I can try it out. I can make a quick video about it, make a quick shout out. If you want the donations, for example, it might make sense to show your progress already. Just put it down in the comments or write directly to me. The email addresses should be available on my YouTube page. Otherwise, yeah, short little overview, half an hour of OpenHarmony based HarmonyOS Next or HarmonyOS 5 running here on the Mate 60 Pro. And like I said, work in progress, and I don't see it to be finalized so soon, but they're making huge progress, and for a completely new operating system, they made it really, really far where I could say, yes, they are allowed to call it beta, even with this limited amount of apps. The operating system is mostly stable with some quirks here and there, some issues here and there, but they're very quick in fixing most of the issues as well, which is quite nice. This is why I can tell you, yes, I have like a good feeling about this. And we will see, of course, if OpenHarmony and OpenHarmony based kind of operating systems will take off in the West as well. If the operating system for the phones and tablets and also PC will integrate very nicely and offer lots of apps and interconnectivity and compatibility, then we can see definitely more here. But for now, if you want to have a stable operating system, just stick to HarmonyOS 4.2 still, like what I have on the Pura 70 Ultra. What they released on the Nova 13 series, there's a reason why they released HarmonyOS 4.2 instead of HarmonyOS 5, because it's not ready yet for prime time. And I think for the global market, my estimate is maybe in the next year, earliest in 1 year, we will see maybe HarmonyOS 5 there. Everything else would be maybe a bit too early still, because the applications are missing. This is the only thing, because the operating system itself is pretty fluid and running very fast. With a little bit of quirks they can fix very, very easily. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and until the next time.